One of the things they tell us not to talk about in law enforcement when you have an aircraft is how fun it is to fly. But I can tell you that with the amount of visibility, you can see that the windows are kind of bowed out a little bit, and how much window area there is here. It is just a fantastic view from 1,000 feet above the ground. You can see people, you can see the cars. It's just a really fantastic tool for us.
I have a question, Dave. Is it very effective for a pursuit?
Yes, it is very effective for a pursuit. We're able to stay right overhead. If it's a slow pursuit, we can stay right on target without any problem. If it goes fast, we can pull the flaps up, and we can do about 135, 138 miles an hour. So that pretty much keeps up with most cars that are out running around today. So we have everybody's frequencies in there, so we can get on whatever channel we need to be on, we're more than willing to help on those. Yes, this will be the first light sport aircraft in the United States to be put in full-time service in support of patrol. There have been some other agencies who have experimented a little bit with them and used them on an on-call basis to take aerial photos and things like that. But as far as being up in the air and available when the action is occurring, we will be the first ones in the U.S. to do it. So I should also mention that research costs for this was covered in part by the U.S. Department of Justice, National Institute of Justice, Office of Science and Technology, Aviation Technology Work Group. There was some federal funds that were taken. That's kind of a mouthful.
Yeah.
But this group has been looking at low-cost aviation alternatives for law enforcement, I think for about the past 5 years. And we got involved in that work group about 3.5 years ago. And a lot of the research, the camera systems, the platform have been kind of refined, and we've benefited from that research. This can do 95% of what a helicopter can do, and I should qualify that a little bit. I should have said a law enforcement helicopter. Obviously, unless we have a very strong wind, we can't hover. But nowadays, in law enforcement with helicopters, they don't hover anymore. When you work in law enforcement, everybody orbits, and the reason for that is for safety. And that's the same reason we maintain certain altitudes, because if you do have something go wrong with the engine in a helicopter or an airplane, you need to have some forward speed to be able to have some time to decide where you're going to land, to be able to have some stored energy so you can make a safe landing and hopefully not injure anybody. And so this airplane will orbit the crime scene. We can utilize the FLIR camera, which is on here, which you see what the FLIR looks like. And we can orbit a crime scene and do a search with a FLIR camera, just like a helicopter can. And here, not upside down. We can see the hot coffee pot is very hot right here. That's the coffee pot right there. But we can do a search for if we had a missing child out in the field or something like that, and it's cool like it is today, or if it's nighttime, we can obviously look for somebody. We can look for if you have an armed robbery occurs. We can go out and check the neighborhood, the bushes, whatever, and look for a heat signature, which could indicate somebody hiding there. We can go out and if fire has a fire somewhere and they want to see if there's any other hot spots out there, we could circle overhead and let them know where there's still hot spots they could go take care of. So, and what I should also say is that this aircraft is basically a valley aircraft. Because it is just 100 horsepower and because we'll have 2 adults in here, this does not have the power to do mountain work. We won't be looking for marijuana up in the mountains. We won't be looking for lost people up in the mountains. You need a larger, more powerful aircraft to be able to negotiate the up and down drafts that could be present in the mountains. So when I talk about what a typical patrol helicopter does, a turbine-powered larger helicopter would be able to land and maybe medevac people if you had an accident or something along those lines. Obviously, we couldn't do that. We're going to concentrate specifically on being the eyes up in the sky, being able to help coordinate if somebody has a subject run from them, be able to coordinate and set up a perimeter and circle around and help search for that person. We hope to be able to make a dent in some of these metal thefts that happen out in the country. Some of our farmers have put alarm systems on their wells and power boxes, and we'll be able to, when we have an alarm or if we set up a covert alarm system out in an area, we'll be able to respond directly, and we'll be able to see even in the dark if somebody's out there around where we're having metal theft or fruit theft or whatever it happens to be out in the country. So this does have a lot of capabilities, and we're pretty excited about getting them in the air. The fuel, Dave, is auto fuel. So what we have is we have a old pickup truck, county pickup truck, and we bought a 100-gallon fuel tank to go in the back of it with a metered pump on it, and we take that to the gas station, we fill it up, we bring it over here, and then we use it to fill the airplane out of that.
And that saves basically money.
Saves a couple of bucks a gallon in the cost of fuel, and it also is a lot easier on the engine because it doesn't contain lead. And if you're green-oriented type person, it puts out less emissions because we're using unleaded gas, where typically aircraft use leaded gas. Annual budget is just under $50,000 for operational costs.